What is going on, YouTube? Welcome back to another video of Career Tech. Today we'll be talking about the new upcoming release of RTX 3070. As on the channel, I have been talking about the RX 6000. I want to go over into NVIDIA's side to see this epic battle of graphics cards. Let's get started. Anyway, we're pointing from video cards. We have final pictures of the RTX 3070, and as of today, as I'm recording this video, it is currently October 27th. And when this video comes out, it will be the 28th, and that's when AMD will launch its new line of graphics cards. As you see on the screen, this is a picture of the GA104 chip from NVIDIA. It is not the GA102, which is the RTX 3080 and 3090. The 3070 will come with a 392mm die size and a CUDA cores of 5888. The memory, however, will be 8GB of GDDR6X, as I believe that should be right. Yes, that's GDDR6. As we know of today, there will be no 20GB or 16GB models of these cards because since GDDR6 is such a new memory kind of memory module, they can't produce enough yield for 20GB cards like the RTX 3090 or these 3070s, which a bunch of people are going to want. And if they can't meet the supply or demand of the RTX 3070, then they can't make 20GB cards or 16GB cards if they can't yield those kinds of memory capacitors and chips. They can do it with the RTX 3090 because no one's going to drop $1,500. Like, not a million people are going to drop $1,500 on an RTX 3090, right? I mean, it just doesn't make sense. The 3070 is said to have 1500 megahertz base clock and a 1725 megahertz boost clock. AMD uses game clock instead of boost sometimes, so they're just trying to be different. And next up on the slide, we actually have confirmation of a new RTX graphics card, which is not the RTX 3060, but rather the RTX 3060 Ti, and it is being called the GOA 104-200. On this card, it's a cut down version of the RTX 3070, which is said to be under $400 and should be released by mid-November. It features a 256 bus and a 1410 base clock and a 1665 boost clock, which is very nice, and also has 4864 CUDA cores, which I believe is the same as the RTX 2080 Ti. I think. I'll check that just to make sure. And it's weird because we got the RTX 3060 Ti, but no no RTX 3060. I mean, that's just weird. I guess that's how it is. And this is from GPU-Z that actually validated this RTX 3060 Ti is coming. So at the end of the video, I'll talk about the Ti models, but for right now, we'll also be talking about new. Right now, we have just received word that NVIDIA is launching emergency cards called the 3070 Ti and the 3080 Ti to combat AMD's new graphics cards that are releasing very soon in one day, as of this video. The new card or chip SKU that came out, I believe today or 2 days ago, was called the GOA 102-250, which would be in between the RTX 3080 and 3090, which would be a 3080 Ti, which features 9984 CUDA cores and 12GB of GDDR6. So they amped up the CUDA cores and memory on the Ti. Because of these Ti models and the regular models, what NVIDIA is trying to do is saturate the market, as we know of, because that's what NVIDIA did last year by not only introducing 2060 Founders, but also Ti's and Supers across the entire stack, which is very confusing and led to a lot of problems, but they're still doing it. And as we know of the RTX 3070 Ti, it is called the GOA 102-150, which features 7,424 CUDA cores and 10 gigabytes of GDDR6. 6X, my bad. And as we know from those leaks of the RTX 3080 Ti from like way back 5 months ago, that Asus card picture was actually correct on the model. It's just many thought that it would not have happened. Overall, I believe that these cards are good. They are a monster of a graphics card, but they draw a lot of power just like the 6000 series will. CUDA cores, yes, CUDA cores is a big thing in graphics cards and memory, but there's also like the L3 cache and other things that play in a factor of performance in games, computing, and almost anything. The highest CUDA core count, or not CUDA cores, but cores for the AMD card is the RX 6900 XTX, which would only have 5,120 cores, as you know, CUDA cores or whatever, and that's barely even like half of a 3070. And it's like, how would AMD even compete? Well, CUDA cores aren't the main story of everything, obviously. Like, yeah, CUDA cores and memory is a big thing, but there's millions of things playing in the background that affect performance indirectly. And that is what we need to understand, that we need to see a bunch of reviews about these cards and understand which one is the best for us. And today, which marks the 27th, YouTubers have gotten their RTX 3070s as planned.
2,000 years later.
The Ti compared to the RTX 3070, performance-wise, they're on par, the same as Jensen said. But for $500 for an RTX 2080 Ti performance, whereas the RTX 20 Ti was $1,000+. Yeah, I mean, that's a major difference compared to what it was at launch. And if you don't, and then there's the question of availability. Availability with NVIDIA and what happened with RTX 3080 and 3090, can you even get your hands on these cards? That's where the big difference lies. Do you go with an RTX 2080 Ti on eBay for $500, $600, and you are for sure to get that, or do you go with the new RTX 3070 and take your chances at trying to get it? There's the availability and stock problem that NVIDIA has not solved and has been a major issue in these launches. And based on a consumer perspective, it's kind of annoying that you can't release a card and you can't buy it the day of. It's like having this best phone in the world, but you can't buy it because no one has it. And it pisses people off, and that drives competition because since no one can buy NVIDIA's RTX 3070, guess what AMD is doing? They are doing everything in their power to make sure availability is with their cards, drawing people from NVIDIA to AMD. Now, there is the 3070 and 3080 Ti models that are coming out, so there is also those cards that you can wait for as well. I don't know how the RTX 3070 launch is going to go, but if it is, then I will say it might be the same as the 3080 and 3090, maybe a little bit different in terms of if you can get it. Maybe there'll be less bots and scalpers, but I don't know. It's really like a flip of a coin. Um, Even if you get in the queue to get it and you go through checkout, sometimes they immediately cancel your purchase. Even when it says you purchased it and the bank account went through and your money got transferred out, they would cancel the order. And that's just how it is. You get your money back though. Um, but the card, yeah, compared in modern titles, 1080p, 1440p, it does actually better than the RTX 2080 Ti because of those second generation RT and Tensor cores. Um, a 20, the 3070 is equal. Um, there is a 1 to 2% difference in certain titles to the RTX 20 Ti, and honestly, the 3070, yeah, the 3070 is the most hyped card out of the whole Nvidia stack because of this, and it's true. $500. Imagine a couple months later that there's a sale, Black Friday, Christmas sales, that can go down to 480. That's a great steal of a card. I mean, that's $800 less than the RTX 20 Ti, or 600 because it came out at $1,000, right? And it's just now the availability that's the problem. And I don't want to go recommending this card when you can't even get it, right? You know? It's just dumb if you can recommend this card but you can't get the card. And I like the Nvidia cards have impressed me. Generational leaps. Yeah, it's true. Great performance on the table. A lot of power usage, however, for these new graphics cards coming out. So you might, if you have like a cheap, really bad power supply like me, you might want to start thinking about upgrading that. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Comment down below what other reviews or things I should do. Anyway, tell your friends. Peace out. Keep on gaming.